Prerequisite to any discussion of JavaScript's control flow statements, we need to understand blocks. Blocks are a way to group a set of statements together, and it's done by putting the statements between opening and closing curly braces. It's important to understand that blocks do not provide variable scope, unlike most other languages that have similar syntax, including C#. What this means is that if you declare a variable inside of a block, that variable is visible outside of the block as well. The simplest control flow statement is the if statement. To use an if statement, you simply provide it with a logical condition. If the logical condition evaluates to true, then the attached block will be executed. If the logical condition evaluates to false, then the attached block will be skipped. The if statement can be extended with an else statement, and the else statement is executed if the if statement's logical condition is false. A more advanced conditional statement is the switch statement. The switch statement provides a multi-way branch based on a conditional, instead of just the true-false branch that we get from if-else. In JavaScript, the switch statement looks identical to a C# switch statement and functions much in the same way. The switch statement works by evaluating an expression and then trying to match the result of that evaluation against one of its cases. When a match is found, execution is passed to that case. When the case is finished executing, it will fall through to the next case unless the break keyword is specified. Here I have a function called introduce with a single argument beetle. Beetle is the expression that I'm giving to the switch statement to evaluate, and then it attempts to match it against labels representing each of the 4 beetles. I also have a default case specified, which will be executed if none of the preceding case statements match. Let's take an example. Consider the case where the switch statement here is executed and the value of the beetle variable is Paul. What will happen is the switch statement will first try to match Paul against this first case statement. Since Paul is not equal to Ringo, control will fall through to the next case statement, and the switch statement will try to compare the value of the beetle variable, which is Paul, against this case label, which is also Paul. Because that's a match, this write statement will be executed, and I'm Paul and I play the bass will be output. And then when control reaches the break statement, that will force the switch statement to end. Another example would be this last call to the introduce method, where the value of the beetle variable is Elvis. In that case, Elvis will be compared against Ringo, and then Paul, and then George, and then John, without a successful match being found. Because it hasn't matched any of the cases, control is then passed to the default statement, and this write statement will be called. I'm calling the introduce function once for each of the cases that I've specified, and then once for a case that I haven't specified to show the default statement working. When I run this, I get the expected result, 1 line for each of the beetles, plus 1 line for the value that doesn't have a case statement.